That beautiful barn there, it's a flint and stone barn. It's been part of the village heritage for, I would say, nearly 200 years, and it just is appalling that without even telling us what mitigation they're going to do for the owls in the barn and the bats in the barn, that they're just going to take that down and put something called a bentonite factory there.
We don't need a train. It's not going to be as fast as they're saying anyway. So we're destroying the natural world and killing the bats for no particular reason other than money.
Now, from what I've seen in my perspective of it, is that it's very get it done, get it built, boom, there we go, money's in the bank sort of thing. No concern around the environment, no concern around the people or the locals around the area, just get it done.
Our wildlife is what sustains us. We're not above nature, we're part of it, and so we need it to survive, and yet the human race pretends it's above it and something different. It's like biting the hand that feeds you. It doesn't make sense.
I think they've clearly shown they really don't give a shit about the wildlife here. And I think that it's not just about the wildlife. People can think of like us as being really separated from the wildlife, but we're in a climate and ecological emergency. That means we need every tree we can get. We need healthy ecosystems. We depend on ecosystems. We're not separate from them. We're just totally intertwined with them. And so the government showing that they don't give a shit about the wildlife here is showing that they don't really give a shit about people.
The government have no concerns about just carrying on with it. I've been told that in no way will environmental aspects ever stop HS2.
Been coming down and getting involved and finding out a bit more around it and everything. Finding out about the bats that are living there and the colony of bats, and the fact that they just want to knock it down without rehoming them or moving them, which doesn't really sound practical that you could do that. It's now that the things are starting to come out and how they are operating as an organisation, it's just wrong how they're doing everything. And that needs to be addressed, that needs to be looked at by people who have got the power and the influence to stop these people from doing these things, destroying the nature, destroying the local history and everything around there, just for pure profit, really. That's what it's all about. And so I'm helping out in any best way I can. Here for the bats today.
Yeah, trees, mature oaks, cut down. Seen diggers picking up bluebells and putting them on the back of a truck. So I've seen, a lot of destruction of nature, which hasn't really hit this area yet, Wendover, but I know it's in the pipeline. So we've just got to be prepared, I suppose, and try and oppose it.
I've seen them just chop down a tree and put it straight in the shredder to hide the evidence. They've lied and said that there haven't been nests there when we've videoed the nests and we've videoed the birds coming and going to them, and they've just disregarded it.
The nature around this beautiful part of the country is just going to be absolutely taken out of it in order to make a train line that's going to save us 18 minutes. It's absolutely absurd and cost taxpayers over 100 billion, which is even just too big of a number for us to really be able to even understand.
Beautiful countryside we've got in the Chilterns, and you start taking down 300, 400, 500-year-old trees and habitats that have been around for years and years. You're not going to be able to replace that. There's a lot of other stuff going on in the world in terms of climate and everything like that, which needs to be looked at. And by ripping down areas like this that we've got, it's just going to be more damaging to what's going on. The project they want to build here, it's just ludicrous.
fence lines that we're going to lose from bats. Yeah. Loss of an owl species, a bat species locally, is of no consequence to our government, but this is a loss to our future, it's a loss to our heritage.
Very heartbreaking and saddening, if you like, to find out how that all went about and how HS2 as an organisation decided that it was morally correct to evict this lady and put pressure on her to do it, and the consequence that happened from that, it was awful, and in my mind that's a very illegal thing to do, I would say. So it's up to people like us who care about the environment and the area we live in to try and address that, get people on board, you know, and make a mockery of this HS2 thing.
Do what you can to try get involved with the Stop HS2 movement, and get involved with like local groups. Come down, speak to people here. I think it's really amazing. I've only got involved recently, but I've just been really heartened by like speaking to people who are just so passionate about saving woodland and helping to slow the climate and ecological emergency by protecting our ecosystems.
If you value your countryside, your wildlife and sort of the future, then you consider helping stop this project 'cause it's not necessary.
Please, if you can, and if you have any love of the environment, of the countryside, of your climate for future generations, please just go online, go somewhere, try and talk to someone about the actions we're bringing about, because the more people that contact their MP, talk to each other about the losses we're going to have, the more we can stand against this government and the more we can do.
Woo!